to the South Country Central School District reorganization meeting. Christine Flynn, the district clerk. Could we all stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First on the agenda is the oath of faithful performance in office. I would like to congratulate and welcome Erica Calderon, Robert Felicetta, and Christopher Ross on their election to the board. At this time, I'm going to administer the oath of office to all three trustees, and I'm going to start with Erica. I'm just going to come out here. So you're going to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, and state your name,
I, Erica Calderon,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Board of Education Trustee
of Board of Education Trustee
of the South Country Central School District
of the South Country Central School District
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. And next is Robert Felicetta. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Robert Felicetta,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Board of Education Trustee
of Board of Education Trustee
of the South Country Central School
of
District
the South Country Central School District
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. And next we have Christopher Ross. Going to raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, and say your name,
I, Christopher Ross,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Board of Education Trustee
of Board of Education Trustee
of the South Country Central School
of
District
the South Country Central School District
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations. Thank you. And right here. Thank you so much. Okay, and at this time, I'll administer the oath of faithful performance of Office of the Superintendent of Schools, Antonio Santana. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, state your name,
I, Antonio Santana,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of Superintendent of Schools
of Superintendent of Schools
of the South Country Central School District
of the South Country Central School District
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And, yep, this line. Thank you. At this time, I would like to call for the nomination for the office of President of the Board of Education. I have a nomination.
I nominate Chris Puccini.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any other nominations for the office of President?
I'd like to nominate Ann Hayes.
Ann Hayes? Okay. All right, is there a second for Ann Hayes?
I'd like to second the nomination for Ann Hayes.
Okay. Any other nominations for President? No. Seeing none, there being no further nominations for the office of President, the nomination is now closed, and I'll call for a roll call vote. For Chris Puccini, as President of the Board of Education for the 2025-26 school year, please respond as I call your name. So Chris, we'll start with you.
Yes.
Erica Calderon? Debbie DeLillo?
Yes.
Cheryl Felice?
No.
Chris Ross?
Yes.
Robert Felicetta?
No.
Ann Hayes?
Yes. No. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chris, but no.
So that's 3 yeses, 4 noes. So for Ann Hayes, as President of the Board of Education for the 25-26 school year, please respond as I call your name. So Ann Hayes?
Yes.
Erica Calderon?
Yes.
Debbie DeLillo? Cheryl Felice?
Yes.
Chris Ross?
No.
Robert Felicetta?
Yes.
Chris Puccini?
No.
So 3 noes and 4 yeses for Ann Hayes as President. So the vote for Ann Hayes for President passes. So from this point on, the Board President will be Ann Hayes for the 25-26 school year. Congratulations, Ann. And I'll now admit for the other ones. You can raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name,
I, E.N. Hayes,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Board of Education President
of Board of Education President
of the South Country Central School District
of the South Country Central School District
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations. President. So you'll start right here.
So are you going to print it or should I?
You can print it. And you also need to sign. Just write your name, I'll put your address. And at this time, we'll turn the meeting over to our new board president, Ann Hayes. It just will take us a minute to switch spots, and we'll be right back here.
God bless you. Thank you.
Okay. So we're going to start it, right? Great, Vice President.
Are there any nominations for the office of Vice President?
I nominate Debbie DeLillo.
And is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. So any other nominations for Vice President? Nominations are closed, and if our clerk could call for the vote?
I'm sorry?
Are you calling for the vote?
Yes, I'll come for the vote. So, trustee Erica Calderon,
Yes.
Debbie DeLillo,
Yes.
Cheryl Felice,
No.
Robert Felicetta,
Yes.
Chris Ross,
Yes.
Ann Hayes,
Yes.
Chris Puccini.
Yes.
Okay, so from this point on, the school board vice president will be Debbie DeLillo for the 25-26 school year, and I will give you the oath of office. I, saying you,
I, Deborah DeLillo,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of Board of Education Vice President
of Board of Education Vice President
of the South Country Central School District,
of the South Country Central School District,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
What's that?
Yep.
Okay. So, we're now on to appointment of officers. I'll call for a motion and a second for the following offices. The board, items 5A through 5D, which would be district clerk pro tem, district treasurer, deputy district treasurer. Is there a approval of all 5 of those offices?
I'll
Do
make
you
a
need,
motion.
you need a motion for that, or are you going to take the vote?
It does not need to be a roll call, but I'll name District Clerk Christine Flynn, District Clerk Pro Tem Sarah Shuffaletti, District Treasurer Erica Frank, and Deputy District Treasurer Mary Beth Briggs.
All are present in the room?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have the motion by trustee Felice. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Ross. All in favor? It's unanimous. So the you need to swear them all in?
Yes. We'll start with Sarah Shufflin.
Barbara has to swear you in.
Oh, sorry.
Where's the photographer? Can you take a picture?
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of District Clerk of the South Country Central School District
of the office of District Clerk of the South Country Central School District
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability. Thank you. Okay, Sarah. Sign it.
I, Sarah Shuffletti,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of District Clerk Pro Tem
of District Clerk Pro Tem
of the South Country Central School District
of the South Country Central School District
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So I need you to sign. And then next will be Erica Frank.
That's a drum roll for you.
Raise your right hand, repeat I, and repeat your name.
I, Erica Frank,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I faithfully discharge the duties
of District Treasurer
of District Treasurer
of the South Country Central School
of the
District
South Country Central School District
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you. So right here, you sign. And next, swing back, please. Swing. Okay. Right here, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mary Beth Briggs,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of District Deputy Treasurer
of District Deputy Treasurer
of the South Country Central School District
of the South Country Central School District
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities. Yes.
right, we're up to section 6 for other appointments. For our newest members, let me just say this, when we do a motion and a second, there's then an opportunity to ask questions or have discussions about anything that is the subject of the motion. But I'm gonna do all of these at once. Is there a motion to approve the appointments shown in items 6A through 6O? Trustee DeLillo? Second?
Sure.
Trustee Felicetta? Okay, any questions or discussion on these items? Seeing none, all in favor? This is, yes, it's unanimous. Next is item 6, appointment of
You
school.
just did 6.
Item 7, appointment of school physician. Is there a motion to approve items 7A and 7B? A motion by Trustee Felice and a second by Vice President DeLillo. Questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? This is also unanimous. Next is item 8, appointments related to CPSE and CSE. Is there a motion to approve the appointments in items 8A and 8B? Motion,
I'll make a motion.
Trustee Calderon, a second by Vice President DeLillo. Any questions or discussion on these items? Seeing none, all in favor? This is a unanimous approval. Section 9, appointment of legal counsel, auditors, insurance, and financial institutions. Is there a motion to approve items 9A through 9N? A motion by Trustee Felice, a second by Vice President DeLillo. Okay.
Discussion?
Yeah, discussion or questions now?
Yes. I want to just thank the superintendent. I had asked for some additional information that he was kind enough to send over to the Board of Trustees. My question was, I just wanted to know the difference between last year's contracts and this year's contract to make sure that we were being diligent about excessive contracts and that we were looking at our cost factors, that they weren't excessive. And so his answers back to us were satisfactory to me, that they were not excessive. They were minimal. Some were no changes at all, which was nice to see. And others were minimal, with the exception of one that was even quite a bit of a reduction, and I would say that was because we had fewer claims in workers' compensation. Is that true, Mr. Superintendent?
Yeah, that is accurate.
Okay, all right. So that was just the discussion I wanted to, in case the other trustees didn't have a chance to look at his answers. But that was the answers that he gave us, and I appreciate their response. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments? In that case, all in favor of 9A through 9N? Raise your hand. It looks like,
I'm abstaining.
okay, I've got 6 yeses, one
Abstention.
abstention. So that appointments carry. Item 10, bonding of employees and surety bonds. A motion to approve item 10A, surety bonds.
A motion.
You
Motion.
make the motion, okay, trustee Ross. Second, Vice President DeLillo. Questions? All in favor? That one's unanimous. We have designations next, item 11. Items A through D. Is there a motion to approve items 11A through D? Vice President DeLillo. Second by trustee Falsetta. Any questions or discussions on this?
Discussion. I had asked questions on two of these items, on D and E. Again, being sensitive to the budget issues that we went through this year. D is budget transfers, in that budget transfers up to $5,000 don't need, that's what this calls for, don't need Board of Education approvals. Everything over $5,000 would. What?
I don't mean to interrupt you, even though I just did,
Okay,
but I think
Am
we're
I-
still on 11.
we're on
And
11.
you're down in 12, I don't know if
Never
maybe-
mind.
Oh, all right.
Okay. We're on 11?
We'll come back to that on 12, but I
Okay.
think we're on 11.
Okay, we're on 11 then. Never
Okay, and
mind.
I think we had a motion and a second,
Okay,
and we had comments.
no comments.
No other
from you.
comments on 11.
No comments on
Okay.
11.
So all in favor? 11A through D is unanimously approved. Now we're on 12,
Okay,
but let me get the motion first.
go right ahead.
This is various authorizations. 12A through 12K. Is there a motion to approve these authorizations?
I'll make a motion.
Trustee Calderon, second by okay, Vice President DeLillo. Comments or discussion or questions?
Now we're on 12. Okay. Back to D and E. The first one, D, is budget transfers, whereby the superintendent has the authority to approve budget transfers for an amount not exceeding $5,000. Anything over $5,000, the Board of Education must approve. And so I thought it would be prudent if the Board of Education had all approval process for budget transfers. The superintendent was asked that question as well, and he indicated, I think you said you need this because it was necessary to close the books
There's two different questions.
for
First
the
are
end, the
the
end of the year.
budget transfers that are included in this, today's agenda are meant just to close the books so that we can get our financial statements ready. So that's it. I can explain what the transfers are. The first transfer is for $365,000. This is again by the new sort of enrollment of special education students who require additional services. That was unanticipated, one of the unanticipated expenses that we spoke about. So we needed to transfer that so we don't have a negative budget line. It doesn't mean we have a negative amount of money, just a negative budget line. So we sort of make that correction through the treasurer's office. The second was transportation, which is related. The $500,000 increase is because those children who need out-of-district placements also require transportation. To give you sort of some contextual understanding, minibuses cost about a little over $100,000 a year per bus. So anytime there's a child that goes to a specialized center and we need to provide transportation, we incur that cost. So that's what that represents.
Can I jump in?
Sure.
I think what this is referring to is an authorization for you to make budget transfers up to $5,000. And what you're talking about comes up on the agenda in the business meeting?
So we're on the same page. I'm jumping
Yeah.
ahead again.
Right.
So
Am I,
you're correct.
okay.
So these are the specific transfers that will appear in the business end of the meeting. So, but in terms of transfers, we do a lot of transfers. I don't think it'd be really like efficient to have every transfer be approved, considering the frequency of board meetings. Anything like $5,000 or below is pretty much inconsequential. Also, the threshold for school districts typically lands around $25,000. So we already have a pretty low threshold for that. So, we'll have a discussion.
Made on a comment, and You have a budget in excess of $1 million. You're suggesting to micromanage every transfer when that transfer is less than 0.5% of the overall budget. From that end, it may be more practical to suggest or require, as I've seen the superintendent do, I'm only going through the process inside for the first time, but to tell us what transfers were made, but to micromanage them from that end, we sort of clog the pipe, right? Everything now comes to a dead halt until there's a board meeting. So if there's some other issue that comes up,
I can make the argument that we should be raising the limit from $5,000 to match other districts, so.
I think the comment that we're well under what this standard amount is telling that this would be considered de minimis. And with regard to Trustee Felice's point, that one I think is going to come up more when we get to the larger budget transfers that we will be approving.
I think we laid off 28 people this year because we had a budget deficit that came out of nowhere, and I think we have to be more diligent in watching.
respectfully, the budget deficit didn't come out of nowhere. We
That's what we were
we had a
told.
bonding issue that existed. When I ran for board 3 years ago, we knew there was gonna be a deficit every year going forward. And then $7 million this year, and increasing subsequent years as we're paying a tax mandated debt repayment before we meet any other expenses. So that budget money doesn't come out of nowhere. It's certainly a budget problem, but it's not something that comes out of thin air.
Can
That
we,
wasn't,
addition,
that,
can we-
that
can we
money,
keep
that
this
money
to the
was.
topic? This is just, all this
It
is
is, but-
authorizing the superintendent to approve budget transfers up to the amount of $5,000, which is, as pointed out, de minimis in the scheme of a $143 million budget. And so we're not expecting to get you doing budget transfers up to, say, $4,999 multiple times a day, multiple times a week. This is as needed, sort of on an emergency basis.
We can include the transfers in our budget updates, so you're aware of when they happen. But again, anything over $5,000 needs board approval.
Okay, so you'll include, so when you do the budget transfers of less than $5,000, you'll include it in the update, so you make the board aware.
We can do that.
Okay, all
I'd
right.
also like to suggest that we approve this tonight, and then we have a discussion at the next meeting about raising the limit to what is more prudent for the district to run without being micromanaged over a little $5,000.
So we have less oversight instead of more?
It didn't less.
Well, but I think that,
How is it less? You're still gonna know about it, you're not?
hold on a minute. What you're saying is that we'll come back at a later meeting and find out information about how this $5,000 has a practical impact on the way we operate, and then there can be a discussion
I
at
would like
that
to
point,
understand
but
from
it's
the
not
business
right
office,
now.
what is an acceptable number that does not
Exactly.
slow down their operation and have to wait
That's
for a
gonna
meeting?
come back.
If the meeting, if the number goes up to 25,000, they may say 15,000, maybe they say 30,000. I don't know, but the board should have that discussion. That's what I'm, that's what I'm requesting. So if we can have that on a future agenda, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
And
I
to
think
Mr.
that's-
Pacini, to trustee Pacini's point, and to trustee Felice's point, that perhaps under that same guidance, what percentage of those budgets? Because to use a straight number, if someone has a budget of $100,000 and you tell me they're allowed to move $25,000 each, they're moving a percentage of their budget, so that we can compare apples to apples. We're certainly not the size of Sachem, so as trustee Felice points out, if we're gonna move money, and we're Sachem and we have a $250 million budget, $25,000 is a certain percentage of their budget. So Mr. Pacini,
Makes sense.
trustee Pacini's adding that percentage so that those, we can be compared apples to
May
apples.
I ask that you hold your discussion of these items to when it comes up at an appropriate time? Because we right now just have a motion on the floor to approve a transfer of up to $5,000 in accordance with board policy. And we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Wait, no vote yet, because we didn't talk about E. I wanted to talk about E as well.
Which one?
E,
E?
the attendance at conferences.
Okay.
In that discussion, because we're not going to decide it tonight, but in that discussion, we mentioned it during the budget process, that I wanted to talk about attendance at conferences throughout the year. I think we need to talk about minimizing the attendance at conferences. You and I personally, well, not personally, we had it around the table as far as the validity and the worthiness of those conferences. They do have value. But when we're talking about budget issues and budget crises, you know, there's a time and a place that we have to tighten our belts. And conferences may be one area in which we have to tighten that belt.
Tonight, though, this is just to authorize approval of attendance within the budget appropriations for this year. So there's already a limit there. So it's not unlimited.
That is true. But it references municipal law 77B and gives the superintendent the sole authority to authorize conferences. But according to 77B, the Board of Education can have that authority. We are choosing to give the superintendent the authority. We don't have to give it to him. We are doing so because that has been our policy. I'm saying we don't have to. We could maintain that control.
But that's something else that can come up at the future meeting when
That's
we're
right.
talking about
And I'm-
budget transfers and things like this.
And I'm requesting that we do discuss it at a future meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
And just to point out again, the limit on the superintendent's discretion that we're giving is within the budget appropriations that we already had approved.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
So we had the motion, we had the second. Any discussion on other items?
That's it
Okay.
that I had.
So all in favor of these items as they're presented? I'll call for a vote. All in favor? It's unanimously approved.
And just for the point of reference, appreciate the comments, and yeah, we are going to be scrutinizing conferences, just to make sure there's a return on investment. That's basically the mindset we're going into this upcoming school year. There has to be a return, you know, if we're going to invest funds educating people or providing professional learning, there's going to be sort of a give back to the district.
Thank you.
All right, we're now up to item 13, all our board policies, bylaws, rules, regulations, and code of conduct. Before calling for the motion, we have to do this every year, but just so all of our new trustees know, our board policies are going through a systematic review. And so the ones that are in place today it's not necessarily going to be the ones that are going to be in place down the road this year. So, in addition, our code of conduct is being looked at. So these are items that will be changed during the year as committees look at these items, but we need to have these in place to start the year. So, item 13A, is there a motion to approve board policies, bylaws, rules, regulations, and code of conduct? A motion by trustee Ross, a second by trustee Felice. Questions or discussion? All in favor? This is unanimously approved. And now, don't all jump and make the motion to adjourn this meeting. Motion to adjourn? Vice President DeLillo, second by trustee Calderon. All in favor? Okay. It's unanimously approved. We're going to take a few minutes break.
Why do we need a break? We haven't met for more than an
Well,
hour.
that's true.
Can't we
Go
just go
right
right
into
into
the
an
next
exec?
one. You're correct.
Thank you.
Now see, they've gotten ahead of discussions. I'm getting ahead of where we are on the agenda of the business meeting because you know the first thing is going to be take a break and go in for exec session. So, okay. So here we go. Take a break while we pull this up.
We adjourned officially?
Yeah, we did it when it was all approved.
Okay.
Everybody agree? Why, you want to stay and?
No,
reorg-
for some
no?
reason it passed me.
Okay.
I was focusing on switching the
All right.
agendas.
Yeah, we're going here too. So now I'm calling the business meeting of July 1 to order. And this is our public session. Welcome, everybody, for coming tonight. We will be opening the session with an anticipated motion to enter into exec session to discuss employment history of a particular person and matters leading to the appointment of a particular corporation. Just so our new trustees know, there is certain required language for entering into executive session given the topics to be discussed, and this language, as stilted as it sounds, comes right out of what's required, correct? By
Yes, for exec
council?
session.
Okay. So, is there a motion to enter into executive session to discuss employment history of a particular person and matters leading to the appointment of a particular corporation? Is there a motion? Vice President DeLillo and a second by Trustee Felice. All in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. So we're now going into executive session. We're scheduled to come back 7:30. So we'll be taking a break. Are we gonna do exec session here and have everybody leave, or are we gonna let them sit here and we can leave and go in the back room? What's
Stay
the
here so we have
pleasure?
our laptops with us, right?
What?
I think it's easier to stay here since we have all stuff here.
Then that means asking everybody else in the back.